everyone, welcome to a new reading session for SAT, EST, ACT, the American Diploma students with teacher Shuru Ismail. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe right away and my Telegram channel so you can find any uploaded session easily. Okay, let's start right away. Today we're gonna discuss literal comprehension question. What do we mean by literal comprehension question? It is a kind of question that is a straightforward question. So this question is straightforward. What do we mean by straightforward? It doesn't ask you about any implied meaning or any hinted meaning. It has a straightforward or direct meaning that you need to find. So here he's asking you about which kind of meaning? He's asking you about the explicit meaning, not the implicit. Because there is another kind of question that asks you about the implicit meaning, and I'm going to discuss it later. Okay, let's see more about it. Literal comprehension questions actually have some clues. If you find in the question stem, the author's discussion indicates that, means it is a literal comprehension question. If you find the author claims, the passage primarily discusses. All of these are clues for the literal comprehension question. Okay, in the literal comprehension question, you'll find your answer is one of three. Either it is stated in the passage. What do we mean by stated? It means it is mentioned, said in the passage. It has to be 100% your answer is from the passage and you have to be sure about it. So it's either stated in the passage or it can be demonstrated. What do we mean by demonstrated? We mean that it is explained here. It is explained in the passage. So your answer has to be explained. Okay, also you can find your answer paraphrased in the passage. What do we mean by paraphrased? We mean that they are mentioned in other words or using other words. So the same idea, so we are tackling here a literal comprehension question, a very important concept. We are talking about same idea but in different words, in different words. So actually whenever you are dealing with the literal comprehension question, you need to be careful that it's asking you about the same idea. So the idea is the same, but the words are different, expressing the same idea. Okay, very nice. Let's continue. We're actually gonna have some examples for that. Literal comprehension question is a question that is paired with another kind of question. What kind of question is it? It has to be paired by supporting evidence question. What do we mean by supporting evidence question? You'll find that the second question or the question that comes after the literal comprehension question, it's asking you about evidence for what you said is the answer of the literal comprehension question. We'll see this actually in the example. Here I have a passage from the ERCA book and we'll deal with it so we can have kind of practice to the literal comprehension question. Okay, we're gonna read it together, but before we start reading, I need to look at the questions that we have here. In the first one here, number 1, based on the passage, the intersecting dawns of light could be best described. This is another thing or another clue word that it shows that you are here asked about a literal comprehension question. This is a literal comprehension question. We're actually gonna read the passage, but first we are discussing the type of question and how it looks in the test. Here, which choice provides the best evidence? As long as you find the word evidence in the question, so he's asking you to provide evidence to the question before. Okay, for the answer to the previous question. So that is a literal question. And here, the next question that comes after, as I said earlier, it It is a kind of evidence question, supporting evidence question. Okay, now we're gonna need to read the passage and understand how to deal with it and the best strategy about it. Okay, just before I read the passage, I need to highlight some points I need to focus on while I'm reading. First of all, I'm gonna focus on the tone of the passage or the author's attitude. I need to focus on the author's, okay, while reading, author's attitude, what he thinks about the topic. Also, I need to focus on the topic itself. What is the topic? Let's have a look at this passage. The following passage, we're gonna read here the blurb first. The following passage is adapted from Verlin Klinkenberg, Our Vanishing Night. Okay, here, Our Vanishing Night. Okay, so out of that, we understand that this is the title of this passage, Vanishing Night. So we're talking about the night that is actually disappearing by National Geographic Society. Okay, I'm not gonna read it all. I'm gonna read the first and maybe the second paragraphs. I'll not read it all, and then I'll go to the questions and back again to find my answers. Let's start. If humans were truly at home under the light of the moon and stars. Here the author starts with if conditional. If conditional here means that is just an assumption. Okay, that is just an assumption, or that is actually hypothetical, so this is not actually the case. That is not the case of what is actually happening. So, if humans were truly at home under the light of the moon and stars, what do you mean here by the light of the moon and stars? Is it natural light or artificial light? Yes, it's actually natural light. So here he's talking about natural light. So if people live under the natural light, they would be happy. That's his claim, or that is his attitude about it. The midnight world as visible to us as it is to the vast number of nocturnal species on the planet. Instead, instead here is an important word. It shows us that is what's actually happening is the opposite. We are diurnal creatures, or creatures that are used to living in the daylight, with eyes adapted to living in the sun's light. This is a basic evolutionary fact, even though most of us don't think of ourselves as diurnal beings any more than we think of ourselves as primates or mammals or earthlings. Okay, so from the beginning, we can understand that the author here is for the natural light. Let's see more from the second paragraph here. Yet, so here I see a contradiction. Let's see what he means by it. It is the only way to explain what we've done. Okay? To the night. We've engineered it to receive us by filling it with light. So what did we do to the night? We filled it with light. Is it natural light or artificial light here? So actually, as long as it's man-made, so it is artificial light. So out of this, we can understand that here in paragraph 2, he's talking about artificial light. Okay, so the author here is talking about the artificial light. This kind of engineering is no different than damming a river. Its benefits come with consequences. Yes, it has some benefits, but actually it has also some consequences called light pollution. So this is the definition of what was mentioned previously, which means that this is the topic of this passage, light pollution. So the author here is going to talk about light pollution. Okay, very good. So whose effects scientists are only now beginning to study. Light pollution is largely the result of bad lighting design, which allows artificial light to shine outward and upward into the sky where it's not wanted. And instead of focusing it downward where it is. Ill-designed lighting. Let's think about his attitude towards artificial light. Here he said ill-designed lighting. Okay, ill-designed lighting. Also, he said, what else here? Let's see. Lighting washes out the darkness of night and radically alters the light levels and rhythms to which many forms of life, including ourselves, have adapted. So from here, we can feel that the author is against or is not favoring the light pollution, of course, and he's against it. Okay, let's come to the first question and then back again to the text. My first question is, based on the passage, the intersecting domes of light, line 34 could best be described as. Here, I will not look at the answers, okay? Because this is not right. Here I need to first refer back to line 34 to find intersecting domes of light. Where 34? 34 is actually this line. But I'm not gonna read starting from 34. I need more information. So I'm gonna read starting from this paragraph. Okay, I'm gonna read from this paragraph. Okay, let's start reading. Here, okay, for most of human history, let's come to this word, it's important. That's history. So I'm talking about the past. I'm not talking about the present time. Okay, so here, when I say human history, I'm talking about the past. The phrase light pollution would have made no sense. It means that people didn't know about light pollution because it wasn't actually there. Imagine walking toward London on a moonlit night around 1800 when it was Earth's most populous city. Here he's giving us an example of London city that was overpopulated by people as they always had with well, okay, 1 million people lived there, so that is the number of people making do as they always had with candles and lanterns. People lived with candles and lanterns. Only a few houses were lit by gas, so the idea of having gas was only a kind of exception. That was not the norm, or that was not the case. That's in the past. And there would be no public gas lights for another 7 years, which means until 1807. Okay? From a few miles away, you would have been as likely to smell London as to see its dim glow. What does he mean by dim glow? He means that it's dark, it doesn't have sufficient light because they didn't have enough light. Okay? Dim glow. Okay, where is it? Yeah. Now, so as long as I have now, so here we're talking about the present time. So here from now, I understand that he's talking about the present. Okay, most of humanity lives under intersecting domes of light. That is my target, intersecting domes of light. So let's see what he means by it. Of scattering rays from overlit cities. The word over here means excessive. So is it positive or negative? Excessive is actually, of course, negative. Okay, overlit cities and suburbs from light flooded. The word flooded is actually negative too. So I have two negative words. Okay, highways and factories. In most cities, the sky looks as though blah blah blah. Okay, here from that, does he mean by intersecting domes of light? Does he mean here when he said intersecting domes of light? Does he mean here natural light? Does he mean here natural light? No, actually, no. He doesn't mean so. Does he mean artificial light? Yes, he means artificial. He means artificial light. So out of that, he means artificial light. He doesn't mean natural light. So here, if we come to the idea of having intersecting zones of light, here he's talking about artificial light. So let's see here our choices and think about our possibilities. The first question here he's saying a welcome sight. Okay. Okay, if I'm talking about the intersecting domes of light, he talked about the artificial light. From the beginning of the passage, we could notice that the attitude towards the artificial light is negative. Yes or no? So here from the beginning, I can understand that he means, okay, by the artificial light that it is negative. So when I'm telling you something like welcome fight, so the word welcome is actually positive. So this one will be totally wrong. Why? Because here this choice is positive, and in the passage here artificial light is something negative, so it's actually wrong. It's not right. Okay. Number two, a recent development. Let's think about that. Let's think about that. Here, back again to the passage. Here, he was talking actually about here the past when he said history, and then he moved on to talk about the present time when he said now. So out of the past, and there was no not enough artificial light because it was very dim. So in the past it was dim. Now, in the present time, it has domes of intersecting lights. So, what do you mean here? What do you mean here? Do you think a kind of a change, or is there no change here? Actually, there is a change. This change is called, we can call the word development as change. Yes or no? A development is a kind of change. Okay, so here, this like synonymous to that, or this word development is explained by the change that happened between the past that was dim till the present that has intersecting domes of light. Okay, very nice, very nice. Okay, let's move on. Here, let's come to B. Actually, that is a possible answer. So here, B is a possible answer, but still we need to have a look at the other answer choices. Okay, C, here a source of entertainment. Let's think about the word entertainment. Do we have anything that has to do with entertainment actually in the passage? No, we don't have. Actually, entertainment is something again positive. And the idea of artificial light, according to the author, is negative. So here he thinks of the artificial light as something negative. Okay, so again, this is a positive answer choice, so I cannot take it. An inspiring vision. Inspiring is again positive, something that gives you inspiration. So it cannot even work here because I need a negative thing. Some people will actually ask me, development, is it a positive or negative word? Development is somehow neutral, or sometimes according to the situation. Here, the situation is a kind of development, a kind of a change. Some changes are negative. Not all the changes are for the positive things. Okay? Very nice. Let's come to question number two. Which answer choice provides the best evidence, okay, for the answer to the previous question. So here, if it comes to, this is a supporting evidence question. That is a supporting, okay, evidence question. Let's have a look here. He said from line 12 to 13, this river. Let's have a look at it. Here, from 12 to 13. Let's read it here. Here, starting from we, that's 11, okay, 12 here. This kind of engineering is no different than damming a river. Here he's talking about artificial light as he's giving like a kind of an image to what is happening here, but this is not the case because he's saying that intersecting domes of light, he wants some evidence for it. So this answer choice is actually not accepted because this line does not support our answer. So here, this one does not support, so it's wrong. Let's come to letter B, lines from 24 till 25. Let's have a look here. from 24, okay, here, for most of human history, for most of human history, the phrase, the phrase light pollution would have made no sense here. So he's saying that people didn't understand or didn't realize, okay, what is light pollution in the past because it wasn't actually there. So, do you think that that supports the answer or no? Here he talked about history, and then after that he's gonna talk about now. So here, does this part support the answer or no? Yes, it supports the answer. Why? Because here it shows us that this is didn't happen before or this wasn't there before. So here, this is a possible answer. We'll just circle it and then go back to the rest of the answers to have answer choices to have a look at them. Okay, so we're gonna circle this one. Let's come to 44 till 46. Let's go back again to the text here. Here he said from 44, here, starting from, we've lit up the night as if it were an unoccupied country, when nothing could be further from the truth. What does this have to do with intersecting domes of light? It doesn't have anything to do. He's just explaining what's going on, that we actually lit up the night, okay? And he's giving it an image on a occupied country and talking about further from the truth. So it doesn't have to do with, okay? It doesn't have to do with the artificial or the domes of intersecting light, okay? So this doesn't work. Let's come to lines 46 till 47. Okay, here, back again to it in the passage. Here, from 46 till 47, light is a powerful biological force, and on many species it acts as a magnet. When I tell you light is as a magnet, it doesn't have anything to do with the intersecting domes of light and the artificial light that is excessive and too much. Okay, it doesn't have to do anything with it. So this cannot be an answer. So that is wrong. Okay, so this will be the end of this, and we're gonna have more exercise, more practice on literal comprehension questions later on. Please don't forget to subscribe in my YouTube channel and my Telegram channel so you can find any uploaded sessions for you easily to help you with your American diploma study. Thank you so much and see you in another recorded video.